Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. What's cooking, good looking? Welcome back to the channel. So, I'm not gonna lie, it has been a crazy couple days for me. Work has been crazy. Easter, happy Easter by the way, guys. Easter was crazy. My family, the whole situation is crazy. I got 2 members of the Fire family in the hospital right now as we speak. Dude, but you know what they say? Life is a fight, and by God, it's got hands. You know what else got hands, though? Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I don't know if that was a good segue or not, but City of the Wolves is out, okay? It came out yesterday, right? And this game kind of slaps. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It kind of slaps. Man, we live in an amazing time to be a fighting game fan. Am I right? We gotta make up things to be angry about because fighting games are launching just so just complete, you know? Like they're just good from all directions, right? Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, now City of the Wolves. We're gonna act like Mortal Kombat 1 didn't happen. But like all the other fighting games, the other major fighting games launching nowadays, they're coming out strong, right? And they're coming out swinging. So I wanted to do a quick review of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. That's what this video is. Do me a favor, guys. If you guys like fighting games, help your boy out. I'd appreciate it. We're trying to hit 3,000 subs, preferably by the end of July. That's when my birthday is. I think that would be really sick to hit 3,000 subs on my birthday. But you know what? Listen, it's a marathon, not a sprint, so I'm not complaining. But let's talk about City of the Wolves. God damn it. I just dropped my coffee all over the floor. Life's got hands, right? Am I right? Dude, I tease. What was I talking about? City of the Wolves. Let's talk about City of the Wolves. Because this game is kind of awesome. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This feels like SNK. This feels like their answer to Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 in a weird way, right? Because, like, it feels like they're like, oh, you guys thought that we just make King of Fighters every 3 to 4 years. Huh. That's what you guys thought. You guys thought that we just do King of Fighters. Psych, we do other things too. Here's a new Fatal Fury game. Which is crazy because, like, it's been 24 years since the last Fatal Fury game, dude. Bro, I was 6. No, that's not even right. I was 5 when the last Fatal Fury game came out. Just think about that. That is insane. Man, and they came back swinging too because this game is, dude, it's filled to the gills with content, which most of the mainline fighting games that have been dropping lately, except Mortal Kombat 1, which we're not going to beat that dead horse any longer. We're not going to talk about that. But Street Fighter 6, it launched with a ton of content, right? Everyone loves that game. Well, I mean, yeah, people still like Street Fighter 6. Same thing with Tekken 8. I know it's going through a rough patch right now, right? Season 2's kind of whatever, but it launched really strong, right? It's the post-launch stuff. That's where the contention comes with all the modern day fighting games. The launch is really strong. It's just the stuff afterwards. That's where all the issues are. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves seemingly is not going to have that issue. And I know this game is like a day old. It's impossible to tell. But SNK already announced that every 2 months, we're going to get a DLC character. Every 2 months. Bro, in Street Fighter 6, we're lucky if we get a DLC character every 3 to 5 months. Sometimes it's even longer. So, bro, we get 4 characters a year. Sometimes they bleed over to the next year. So, City of the Wolves, every 2 months, right? So that's pretty good. By the way, the leak was real, by the way, guys. I'm not going to go into detail. I don't want to spoil you guys. I have a video where I talk about, you know, the leaked roster of City of the Wolves. It was real. It was real. So, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's talk about the roster right now. It launches with 17 characters. And for the most part, the base roster is pretty strong, right? There's some pretty good characters here. There was a little bit of drama before launch, and it does have to do with the roster. 2 of the base roster characters are guest characters, right? And not only are they guest characters, but they're like real life actual dudes, right? You have, Ronaldo, world famous football superstar, right? All you Ronaldo fans, I'm happy for you guys. I don't care either way. I know there's a lot of people that hate him. Gameplay wise, he's kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie, right? There's a lot of cool soccer, football, moves going on there. He looks cool in motion, right? I will give him that, right? And then the second guest character that we got is Salvatore Ganacci. Is that right? Salvatore is significantly less famous than Ronaldo, but I think he's a cooler character. I think he's a cooler guy in general because Salvatore is a DJ. This dude really likes SNK and like Fatal Fury, right? This dude, he did some of the music for it. There's a trailer and he did the background music for that, right? Like, Salvatore seems really hype that he's in this game and that he's involved in general, right? And then gameplay wise, he's the joke, like meme character of the game, but like he animates really well, right? A lot of his moves, for the most part, like 99% of his moves are references to some of his songs. I did listen to a couple of his songs. I don't know if I'm a fan yet, but he is an interesting dude. And his music is kind of interesting too. Aside from those two characters, like I said, the rest of the base roster is pretty strong, right? You have, Terry, Rock, the works. T-Zoc is back. Always good to see him. He's probably the most disrespectful grappler that we've gotten in a fighting game for the past, 5 years, right? Next to King in Tekken 8, right? I love me some King, but the disrespect, the raw disrespect from these two men, off the charts, right? The character that I'm maining right now is actually Vox, right? Vox Reaper. He's just edgy enough to where he checks all the boxes for me. I need a cool, badass character to play. That's just me. But I'm not I don't know if I have a character on the roster that I'm obsessed with just yet. I like characters that have a lot of movement options. Which, you know what? We're gonna segue off of that. Let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. Like I said, I have a whole video dedicated to talking about the gameplay of City of the Wolves. For the most part, it feels pretty good. I will admit, when you first pick up City of the Wolves, it does feel a little slow. Just a little bit, but that's most fighting games, right? When you pick up a new game and you don't have a character that you really like, and you're still getting used to the systems and stuff, most fighting games feel kind of sluggish. That's how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately, right? Also, there's the rev system. As you experiment with that, the game speeds up significantly, right? The rev system is kind of weird. It's like the antithesis to the drive mechanic from Street Fighter 6 and the heat gauge from Tekken 8. It's similar, but it's kind of different, right? Because the rev meter, the more rev techniques you use, right? The more EXs and what do they call in Street Fighter 6? OD moves. Nah, screw that. We're sticking with EX, dude. The more meter burn moves you use, the more the rev gauge heats up, right? And it's kind of counterintuitive. You would think that you want your rev gauge to max out, right? Because, hey, dude, you want to get revved up. You're trying to get hype. No, that is not what you want, right? The higher your rev gauge is, the more in danger you are, right? Because you'll put yourself in burnout, basically, right? So it's like the antithesis to the to the drive gauge, right? Which I think is really funny. I had to wrap my brain around that, honestly, when I first played the beta, but you'll get used to it. Aside from that, like I said, gameplay wise, I think it's really fun. I'm not gonna harp too much on this because, like I said, I have a whole video where I just gush about that. Let's talk about visuals, right? Because this game, in my opinion, this might be a hot take. I think this is visually the best game that SNK has put out. I think it looks fantastic. I love just looking at this game, right? That's how you know you've done something right in terms of visuals. I just like watching people play this game, right? Even when I'm not playing it, just watching this game in motion is something else, The music is good, the stages are good, right? Presentation-wise, this game is amazing, right? I love everything about it, right? And then before I forget, it does have some single player options, right? Which is something that, like I said, all these, these main fighting game releases, you gotta do that. You gotta have some kind of single player thing. Street Fighter 6 did it, Tekken 8 did it, Mortal Kombat 1, we're not gonna talk about that, but Fatal Fury, its story mode, it's like, how do I describe this? It's like half story mode, half like RPG board game, right? You pick like where you want to go in Southtown, right? It's really interesting. It's really interesting. Okay. There's a final boss. There's all this stuff. I'm not gonna go into super in-depth detail. Just know that it is kind of interesting. Okay. I don't know what it is, but like fighting game story modes, I get really like invested in. Give it a try. It's better than the World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6, which I am an apologist for that. But anyway, guys, if I had to rate City of the Wolves, I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. Right, critically, I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. But because I just it might be recency bias, right? I love the resurrection of SNK and Fatal Fury, right? I am a fanboy. I kind of want to give it a 9. I'm sorry. Critically, it's an 8. But, like, my heart is telling me to give it a 9, right? So, that's my final rating for City of the Wolves. It's a 9 out of 10. I think this game is awesome. Do I like it as much as Street Fighter 6? No. I'm pretty sure I gave Street Fighter 6 like a 10 out of 10. I'm still obsessed with Street Fighter 6. Even though they keep messing stuff up, post-launch. City of the Wolves, 9 out of 10. Anyway, guys, that's the video. This is just a quick and dirty review. I do these every once in a while. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about City of the Wolves? What would you guys rate it? Also, who are you maining so far? Let me know in the comment section below. I am curious. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.